Hello everybody. I just want to throw a little teaser in, because I think it's about time we woke up a bit. Craig, well, I asked Craig, but he wouldn't do it, but I'll tell you what I was going to do anyway. I was going to get Craig to lean on this pedestal here. And I was going to basically ask Craig to wake up. But he wouldn't go for the challenge.
No, I won't.
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a teaser, and we can do this by show of hands.
And this is about you.
Which of us, myself and Craig, actually met the previous Prime Minister Tony Blair? How many hands for those that you think? Was it Craig or was it me? Let's go for Craig first. How many hands up?
I thought it was about 50-50.
Right, okay. Now, the second one is, who do you think, in the sense of, was it me that told him there? Hands up. Ooh, it's going to get very difficult. Should we put you out of misery? Yeah. All right, here's this guy.
Okay.
Yeah, you see, we do come famous essentially in first. I think I sport the second part like that because I was going to say to Craig to ask me what, weren't you?
Yeah. I was going to ask you what's it about you have been a music Helsinki.
Yes.
Guess who? Hands up is in. Okay. Who else think it's me? Hello. I get out of mystery. It's a person on the left-hand side of me. It's here. It's a silly picture.
And when we talked about mistakes earlier on, as someone said, they learned to not make mistakes. Probably it wasn't one of those mistakes when we went to Helsinki, was it? No? Okay. Okay, Craig, carry on.
Right, okay. Next step. How many people know attention complete first? How many people know attention complete first?
Heard of.
Okay, I'll read it out for you, right? Sensory first. Sensory first is a South African organisation setting up in 1990, right? Just about 21 years from doing this month. We have done a lot of important work with lots of different partners. We want to tell you about this and how we made it happen.
Oh, look at that picture. Nobody recognised where I was then.
That's why we're playing. That's why we're playing.
I've got a few more great heads since then as well. Huh, yeah. Going back in early years. Yeah, exactly. So, starting out. When we started in 1990, we don't really think people understand how to include people with learning difficulties in important decisions and research. We thought this was needed to change.
How many people see this video? No? Right, okay, I'll read it then, right? We started by telling people that they need to include us in their decisions. another film on it, but it might be the stand. Okay? And also, it might be, if people on the side here, met in Canada, in South Africa. And that's why I really know each other since, what year? Yeah. Oh, just about time. And that's why we know we've been the Africa conference. So that's why in Buchanan is talking about how we made included us in the community care plan. Can you put it on?
I'm in Buchanan, and I've known about Alzheimer's People First as Ben was since 1991 sometime. It's worth saying how I knew about them, and that was across my desk in my new job at Hampton for Social Services. It was a joint finance funded organisation. I first met them because one of my jobs when I arrived at the standing start in 1991 was to produce a community care plan with no information, or with information that was unusable. And so I produced one full of intentions. And I first met people from Centre for People First when I appointed a community care planning officer called Tina at the time. And I asked her to go around talking to different organisations, including People First. She came back and said to me, they want to make a complaint about me. And they're not going to make the first stage, we put it in writing because you haven't produced a community care plan. And I said, well, fine. They're welcome to put it in writing, but only come to read the processes that has to. And I set up a meeting, and the first meeting was in my room. By Jan, I was struggling to find who exactly was there. You were there, and I think it was Nigel. I think it was you and Nigel who came and Neil Morris. And we had this is a community care plan, and I just said, well, no, it isn't. And I'd already worked out where to go with the next year, which was one that was built around the notion of involving service users, because the other information systems in Northampton were not good. And you were really important in getting the service user stuff going, including a user involvement strategy with other groups of service users, so mental health groups and older people are much more difficult. But the physical disability lobby, so a woman called something Bear at the time, who you found very difficult, and everybody did, actually all worked quite well in terms of getting the idea of people talking about what they wanted on the agenda. And Central England, as is now, were one of the most important players, I think, in that. I think maybe I won't say more at the moment, but that was really quite good. You were pretty challenging. Very well,
I think. So that goes to show you, and that wheel represents quite a bit of our history. What I will do is, I won't go through it all now, but if you want to come and see myself and Craig over lunch, we'll explain a little bit more about that wheel later. But for the time being, I'll just press on with the rest of the presentation. So, research. Because people knew we were good at speaking up, they started to want to work with us. People were doing research, but had not included us before. We had already gathered lots of evidence for things, but had not made it into research. Okay, the next bit. The very first one on the top here, this one here. I'm a very good indicator as well. This book here, Staying Strong, was actually put together from the National Forum of People with Learning Difficulties in England. I was actually on a small group of that put that document together. So any self-advocates in the audience that would like to know more about that book, we could give them information where to obtain a copy of that booklet. And it would help to grow strong in the future. The same with the National Survey. Essentially, we first involved in the National Survey going back in 2001 in partnership with a medical research bureau called BMRB. And they were very good. They actually helped us out all the way. We had a lot of input. We did reports to it. We were involved every step of the way in what we did on that piece of work. Again, please come and see us over lunch. I'm just going over quickly to Craig.
The last one is about diarrhea. That means it's a part of the research that we did about how long an hour care community. Right? And that means it's about research people about people in the audience mention it about how they researching it is like going up to interviewing what do you daytime, in the evenings, and in the daytime, right? So that's a part of that. Is there any more information than coming to myself and I'll talk to you a bit more?
That's a bit quick.
The last one is about more. Right. Coming to our workshop, and we will tell you about how we did all of these projects, and the different ways that we have worked on them.
Okay, I think what we'll do is, so we can hopefully move on. You heard the two Ronnies. Has anybody called Ronnie Barker? I'm just going to say good night to me, and
Good luck to me.
and good luck to him.
Thanks very much indeed. As you have gathered, the organisers are working various teams that have come here today hard, so you'll be able to hear both in some questions at the end of this morning, but also in the workshop this afternoon. So,